go. Well, WENY's Leanne DeRosa has been training like a Marine down in Parris Island, South Carolina. Over 40 local men and women go through this process every year. It's a whole new world for recruits, and today, in her special report, she gives a glimpse into the military life.
Hey everyone, today was our first day at Parris Island, and let me tell you, it was pretty busy. The day started bright and early at 5 a.m. and from the minute we hopped off that bus, we were treated just like recruits and got a good look at what boot camp is all about.
Sir, sir! Now whenever I change you, you're going to get off of my bus. You will walk, you will not run, and you will get on my yellow footprints. Do you understand? Aye, sir.
Our day started just like every recruit starts their boot camp experience, with a welcome from a drill instructor and a hustle to the yellow footprints.
Fill in all the gaps. Fill in all the gaps.
That's where the recruits line up.
Yes, sir.
Then get ready to head through the steel doors and begin their receiving week, all while drill instructors barked commands.
It's a stark change. You're changing them from a civilian to the military way of life, so they have no idea. Nobody has ever screamed at them. Nobody's ever talked to them that way, so it's a shock.
And after sitting where the recruits sit and being briefed on the initial entry into boot camp, the yelling didn't stop for us either. Next, the drill instructors showed us a little of what their job is all about. Running back and forth, staying in line, loudly yelling, "I, ma'am," and more. The drill instructors say they teach the recruits how to respond under pressure, all to build confidence and help them transform into Marines.
My favorite part as a senior drill instructor would be watching my weakest recruit become one of my strongest and confident recruits.
For the rest of the day, the drill instructors escorted us around the island as we got a glimpse into the recruits' world, from the squad bay to the pool, to chow hall, and the rifle range. A huge part of boot camp, learning how to shoot. I'm going to go give it a shot.
So I always tell people the most important thing to know about Marines is that we're all riflemen, we're all trained marksmen. Every single Marine that will graduate at any level of entry-level training will have to learn how to employ their service rifle.
Marines will spend weeks training and learning how to use their rifle. Our lesson was only brief, but it was cool and made us feel one step closer to being a real recruit. Reporting in Parris Island, South Carolina, Leanne DeRosa, WENY News.
You got a lot of courage, Leanne. Well, she says the Marines have another busy day scheduled for them tomorrow, so tune in to check out what obstacles the group will overcome next. WENY's Leanne DeRosa brings us day 2 of Marine Corps boot camp training in Parris Island, South Carolina. Today was all about a military exercise called the Crucible. It's a demanding task given to each recruit, but if they can endure it, they can become a Marine. Leanne?
Hey everyone, it was another busy day here, day 2 at Marine Corps recruit training. It was all physical activity today and all about overcoming obstacles, literally. Boot camp may sound like it's all about exercise, and while physical training is huge, that's not the only physical activity for recruits. Like for instance, there's the confidence course, a course with 11 obstacles, each one harder than the next, all designed to do what the name says, build confidence for the recruit. And although we didn't get to try all of it, our group had fun with a few of the different stations. But the rope swing seemed to be a favorite. And although our group may not have built up too much confidence on the obstacle course, the next event surely gave us a boost. It was the rappel wall, many people pushing themselves to the limit to overcome a fear of heights, like myself.
Keep walking. Keep walking. You're walking backwards.
And while it seemed scary in the moment, many seemed to agree they felt great and were proud by the time they made it to the ground. But for the recruits, those obstacles aren't meant to be fun and games. Each day and each piece of training helps prepare them to earn the title. But first, they need to overcome the biggest obstacle of all, the Crucible.
The Crucible is a 54-hour evolution that the recruits have to do that signifies a culminating event of their time here on the depot.
The recruits hike miles and miles each day, carrying pounds and pounds of gear.
stopping to complete different events along the way.
So far, the Crucible, it's more of a mental thing than a physical thing, because you've already done everything before. It's just putting everything together and actually remembering how to use it.
Many of the events simulate combat, like crawling through mud under barbed wire with the sound of shots being fired in the background. But recruits quickly learn that the most important aspect is actually teamwork.
Because you really need everyone in your fire squad to communicate and actually do what they're told by the squad leaders in order to do everything successfully.
By the last day of the Crucible, the recruits have had little to eat and have gotten little sleep, pushing themselves to their limits.
The recruits' mindset here is they're not going to quit. It doesn't matter how much they hurt. It doesn't matter how hungry they are. It doesn't matter how tired or cold they are. They're in their mind. They're always telling themselves just a little bit longer. It ends at some point, and they're not going to give up no matter what until they get that Eagle Bank and place it to their hand.
But one last hike makes it all worth it for them. Once they reach the Iwo Jima Monument at the end, they officially earn the title of United States Marine. Reporting from Parris Island, South Carolina, Leanne DeRosa, WENY News.
And once the men and women do earn the title of Marine, they graduate from boot camp and are finally reunited with family and friends after 3 months. Leanne will have more on that Monday night.
Well, you saw her a little earlier in the show, and now our reporter Leanne DeRosa is back in the Twin Tiers. But all of last week, we brought you her reports from Parris Island, South Carolina, where she was in Marine Corps boot camp. Tonight, she wraps up her special report showing you a day that a Marine never forgets, graduation.
The 13 weeks at Parris Island are all about transformation, going from a recruit to becoming a United States Marine. Day by day, each reflect on their own reasons for joining.
This recruit wanted to join the Marine Corps to become the best that he could be, and become strong, diligent, and disciplined for when he has a family.
And each overcome their own challenges, both physical and emotional, along the way.
Not having my mom's home-cooked meals or, just talking to her, spending time with my little brother or girlfriend or my dad or my older brother, that's what's hit me the hardest.
But in the end, they all say it's worth it. It's the moment they make themselves and their loved ones proud. The last 2 days of boot camp is the moment they've all been waiting for, reuniting with their family and friends. First comes Family Day, which kicks off with a motivational run. Families line the streets to catch the first glimpse of their new Marine. Then the crowd gathers for a ceremony, clapping and cheering as the new Marines march in for the first time. The Martins family from Fairport, New York, sat in the crowd anxiously waiting to see and speak with their daughter for the first time in nearly 3 months.
Her letters were amazing. They were filled with detail of everything, all about her drill instructors who she loved and admired, the best friends that she's made from all over the country who she'd never have a chance to meet. Everything was so positive.
Their daughter Melissa was inspired to join the Marines after a trip to Parris Island this past summer for her brother's Marine Corps recruit training graduation. Now, less than a year later, Melissa is the one in uniform running happily into her family's arms.
There's no words. We're so proud of her. We just waited for 13 weeks to hug her, and it was everything I dreamed it would be.
The new Marines are allowed to spend all afternoon catching up with their visitors before the final big day, graduation. And at the end, with a final dismissal, the new Marines were free to go.
A little bit bittersweet. I am sad to be leaving my sisters, leaving what I've called home for the last 3 months, but at the same time, of course, I'm excited to go home, move on, start my career, and it's a feeling that you can't have unless you're experiencing it.
The happiness in the room was contagious. You couldn't help but smile looking at the new Marines standing tall and proud. Melissa says, although boot camp wasn't always easy, it was something she'll look back on as something that positively changed her life forever.
Learning to fit in, trying to stand up, have a voice, take a leadership role. That was the hardest for me, but from the training, from the drill instructors, especially our senior drill instructor, really taught us a lot about having a voice, being confident, standing up for yourself. And I think over these last 13 weeks, I've really grown into that.
Reporting in Parris Island, South Carolina, Leanne DeRosa, WENY News.